All right, we are live, Dr. Christopher Hucks. Hi, everybody. Hope you had a good Memorial Day weekend, that you had a chance to relax and eat good food and remember all the things you're supposed to think about on Memorial Day. So thank you for coming back for a lunch and learn. Hold on one second. I want to make sure that I got my Facebook page up and going, because, my friends, if you have a question during the interview here, you can ask it live, and I should see it. If I don't see it, give me a second, but go ahead and post it. I've already got some pre-questions, pre-topics that Dr. Hucks and I are going to talk about. But first, I'm going to start by introducing Dr. Chris Hucks. We are in a networking group together. Surprise! We are in our BNI group together. We meet Mondays at 7:30. And we've been meeting virtually. And actually, Dr. Chris, I don't think I've met you in person yet. Have I?
No, we haven't met in person.
I don't even know how tall you are.
Yeah.
I mean, I really, so that's kind of, we've met during the time of social distancing, and we have become friends during the time of social distancing, and he had joined our chapter during that time. And so we're, partners in partners in wellness. And so it's going to be really cool one day when I get to see you in person. I'll be like,
Absolutely.
you're 3D. That's
Yeah,
so neat. So for today, we're going to start by Dr. Chris is going to tell us a little bit about himself, but he is a physical therapist, and he and I have been having some really interesting conversations that I think a lot of you might think interesting as well. For example, I sit here in this chair that's probably not ergonomically correct or whatever, way longer than I ever thought I would. And sometimes my sciatica, I think that's what it is bothering me. It's like weird things from like not walking like I used to, not moving around the house like I used to. So we got to talking about, like, is this kind of more sedentary lifestyle affecting our bodies? And if so, how? And is there anything we can do about it? And so we thought, well, this will be a great lunch and learn, because no matter if wherever you live, you're out and about now. We've all been sedentary compared to how our lives have been prior to this. And I'm sure it's affected us in some way. So Dr. Hucks is going to tell us about that today. And also we have some other questions as well. But I would love to start off if you would introduce yourself to everybody and tell us how did you get started? And also I noted that you are a running specialist. So maybe tell us a little bit about that. All right, take it away, Dr. Hucks.
Absolutely. And thank you so much, Lydia. Thank you for having me on. It's been just a privilege to be on here. I watched some of your previous lunch and learns. And I'm like, oh wow, I'm learning so much from these things, and how it's right in the middle of the day. I thought it was great. But my name is Chris, and I am a physical therapist. I've been a physical therapist for 6 years now, and I'm the owner and founder of Phase Forward Therapy and Wellness. And I've been in business probably about 6 months or so now. But I say 6 months, but really it's gotten going since the start of COVID. I'd say I've really been pouring into it for the past 2 to 3 months. And a lot of that started was when I got furloughed. I was furloughed from my job April 2nd. And that was actually the same time I started getting involved with BNI Group. I got to meet Lydia, all these incredible people. They've been just helping me through this thing and just helping me take those steps in my business. But yeah, in regards to Phase Forward, I'm just very, very passionate about physical therapy, about fitness, and about running. So it took me a little while to really figure out what my niche was going to be in my company. At first when I started, we're trained this way in PT school. It's all about just helping everyone. You can help all these different ages, people with different illnesses, diagnoses. Anyone that comes into the door, you can help. And when you're working in a clinic, it's kind of true. It's kind of, they're coming to you, so you have to figure out how to help them. But what I have figured out in my last few years, and especially the last year, is when you niche down or really target a specific population, you can pour more of your gifts into them, and just really research that specific area. And that's kind of how running came in. I've been a runner now for about 3 to 4 years, and I was the type of person that, growing up, I'm like, oh, running's not for me. I make all the excuses. I don't have the running body. It's painful. And this is a physical therapist saying this. So, a lot of people just kind of have these self-limiting beliefs of running. And we also hear a lot of things about running, like, oh, it's bad on my knees. You know, I, I was recommended to do, swimming or walking. It's better on the knees. But I'm hoping during this talk I can help you guys with those self-limiting beliefs. And I'm a true believer that anyone can be a runner. And that doesn't necessarily mean we're going to get, we have to get you to the marathon level, ultra marathon level, but anyone can run, and no matter what your body type is or what you've been through in your life. So yeah, that's our goal coming on here. And I look forward to sharing some of those tips with you guys.
Awesome. Well, let's get started. I think one of the things we posted, I did a poll with some, and I would love to start with the topic at hand. As we've all been sheltered for now. Now it's a beautiful day here in Chicago. It was yesterday. People are starting to get out and exercise more, but gyms are closed or have been. I think they're still closed here in Chicago. So I know I personally don't move as much as I used to. Could you talk a little bit about the effects on our bodies that you've noticed or that might be likely during this, recent quarantine?
Yeah, absolutely, and you're right. I think the gyms have been closed now for, I want to say, 2 months at least, maybe 2.5 months. And it has really affected people. Is that I'm closely associated with a lot of people that rely on the gym for all their fitness needs. And once that was closed, it was just a heartbreaker. You didn't know what else to turn, because you're just relying on this one source of exercise. So for those people, and then just people in general that have been real sedentary for this during this COVID, it's going to affect so many things. The obvious one is, it's affecting our physique, our body, our muscle mass, and our overall energy. But even on top of that, I think what it affects first is your mindset, your mentality. And this can flow into all areas of your life. This can affect, being sedentary affects, relationships. It affects your work, your work ethic, because of course you're not going to have as much energy. And maybe when you're real active, you're more proactive, and you're making strides. But when you're sedentary, you can be more reactive towards things. And then, and when we're reactive, we can fall into like a really negative whirlwind of different things. And I think once our mindset starts to go, that's when our body these illnesses start, and everything. So usually that's the pattern. It first starts to affect your mindset, and then pain can start coming on, just from kind of like what you're saying with sciatica. Just, you're sitting all the time, so you're causing these muscles and these joints not to move. So then the pain can start coming on, and then you start having these illnesses such as sciatica or neck pain. Neck pain is very common too, with our cell phone use and everything. So it's usually kind of that pattern when it comes to the sedentary lifestyle.
Great. So what can we, so if we notice, is it like I know I'm going to be working from home for a while. I mean, always. So like if we find that we're in patterns of sitting a lot, are there some physical therapy tips you have for our bodies so that we don't like unnecessarily injure ourselves?
Yeah, absolutely. Uh, number one tip I would say is, if you're sedentary at home or at the office, one thing you could do is to put a timer on. You can literally use your phone as a timer, and I always recommend taking a break every 30 minutes, no longer than an hour. So I'd say that 30 minutes to an hour range, and at the very least, just kind of stand up and walk around. Maybe you haven't gone to the gone to the bathroom in a while, so just get up, move, go to the bathroom, or and just kind of getting the body mobile. Getting the body mobile. That's gonna I always say it's kind of like slowing down to speed up. So you're slowing down. Maybe you're not doing work in that during that 5-10 minute break, but it's going to make you so much more efficient when you come back, because now you have energy, you have blood, you have blood flowing through your body, through your brain. So you're just going to work so much better at your computer, doing your work when you take those breaks. So so important, so important. And then something else you can do is some basic, basic stretches when you take those breaks. One I always recommend is just doing the neck, bring the head right to the side,
Mm-hmm.
and what that's going to stretch is these trap muscles, which carry a lot of pressure when we're sitting for long periods of time. So you can just go over there, go to the side, hold that for about a minute. And if this feels really good, you can even extend that longer. You can go to a minute and a half, 2 minutes. Um, so you can do this in sitting, but one thing I recommend is stand. So it's actually stand and do it, because then
Mm-hmm.
you're getting blood flow in your legs, and you're getting blood flow in that area, and it's stretching those muscles. It's a real easy stretch, just going side to side, and then hold that one for about a minute. And that's just going to help relax you, relax your mind, relax those muscles. So when you do go back into that work posture, those muscles are going to be loose for you, and you just won't feel as tense in that area. So that's one example of a stretch you could do. Uh, yeah.
About what about like if we're sitting a long time? I mean, I guess a lot of people sit at work, but they might have like professional chairs, like
Hmm.
ergonomic chairs and desk setup. But often when we're at home, we don't have the same fancy setup. So, is there? I mean, do you recommend putting a pillow under your butt or like a towel, or does that matter? Is it more just important to get up and move around?
Um, there is a couple of different things you can do. Like I'm a big believer in the 90-90 setup. So
Mm-hmm.
90-90s, so your knees and hips should be at about 90 degrees. Elbows, shoulders, all that should be 90 degrees. So everything is in that optimal position. So the right muscles are turned on, the right ligaments, tendons. So you got even muscles in the front and the back working. That's going to keep you in your optimal sitting posture. So that's one thing you can do. Two is you can invest in a like a TheraBall. So
Mm-hmm.
a TheraBall is awesome because one, it's going to keep you at that 90-90 posture, but two, it also activates the core. So when you activate the core, that's the foundation of our posture. So having that activated is just going to keep the right muscles engaged, and it's going to prevent things like sciatica, hip pain, mid back pain, neck pain, stuff like that. So that's another just awesome way, or awesome thing you can use when you're sitting for long periods of time. Another great thing is I highly recommend investing in like a standing desk,
Mm-hmm.
because when you have that, then you can change your position every 30 minutes to an hour, or even maybe like 2 hours. You can go from that sitting posture. So then and when when you're standing, still keep that 90-90 posture, but then when you start kind of getting tired on your feet, then you can go back to sitting. So then it's constantly helping you change that position through your 8-9 hour workday. Those are
Nice.
some great tips. Yeah.
And then you have to use the stand-up desk. I have one. I have one on my desk. I haven't used it in ages.
And you're not alone. There's
Just
fortunately,
getting it doesn't fix it.
Yeah, exactly, exactly. And maybe just start. And what I always tell people, start easy. Don't create these like massive goals of like, oh, I'm gonna stand for 4 hours today. Just have a goal of standing. Even if you just start with 30 minutes, then you're just practicing. One, you're putting it in use, so you're getting those cobwebs off it and everything. But then you're making that first step of standing for 30 minutes, and then you'll build from there. So
Great. Okay. So then we had some, I think you'd already talked about sciatica. First of all, is it sciatica or sciatica?
it's sciatica.
Okay, they're forced.
Hmm.
Um, Back pain and sciatica. What about back pain? I guess we talked more about sciatica and neck pain and stuff. If people are experiencing back pain that they haven't experienced before during the quarantine, what are some things that could be from?
So a lot of things that we talked about. So it could be from prolonged sitting, so
Okay.
sitting for a long period of time. Another big cause of sciatica is again your mentality, your mindset, the stress, like what things are coming into your mind, and are you finding those periods of relaxation throughout the day? Is what we have found, and I read this great book on this maybe about a year ago, that the autonomic nervous system, or the nervous system that we don't have control over, that has a big role on back pain, neck pain, because pretty much if this nervous system is overreacting, if it's overreacting beyond what it's supposed to, the level it's supposed to be reacting to, that can actually cause pain on our body. And it's most commonly in the low back, mid back, and neck, your neck as well, because those are, that's your spine. That's your foundation. That's where so many nerves come from.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, the big thing we find, with back pain, and when I'm treating someone with back pain, and especially sciatica, we not only put them through the right stretches, the right postures, exercises, we also have to address, their mindset. What type of things are they doing throughout the day? Are they finding those periods in an 8-hour workday of just slowing down, relaxation? How's their relationships? There's so many things that can play a part in that, and that's another reason with my company Phase Forward, I wanted to add such like a wellness holistic approach. I found when I was working at a company like Athletico or ATI, a lot of the places you see, you don't have enough time. You don't have enough time with your patient to add this value into the treatment. All you really have time for is to show them a couple movements, exercises, but really that's not going to do anything if they leave your facility and then don't do any of those movements on their own. So it's a lot more than just the right exercises, movement, stretches. It's kind of like a whole body holistic approach to really conquer
Makes
that back
total
pain.
sense. Yeah, I know a lot of people in this group too are just all about the whole well-being, not just bits and pieces. I know I've been really missing going to my chiropractor,
Mm.
um, and she really adjusts the nervous system, addresses the nervous system. Dr. Katie Ray, New Day,
Mm.
but and I know that helps keep my particular issues at bay by livening up the nervous system. It's really kind of
Hmm.
cool how
Beautiful.
it's all connected.
Yes, yes, absolutely.
I wanted to move to running because with the rest of your time, because you specialize in running, and I know my friend Brooke posed a good question that I thought like I would love to know about that too, because gyms are closed. And when they reopen, I don't know. I mean, are we going to have to work out with a mask on? Are there going to be partitions? We don't know. So a lot of us are like, well, I'll just go out and run. But you're right. A lot of people like myself maybe have had preconceived ideas that like, oh, I don't know how to run. It'll injure me if I don't have, and so Brooke just asked, do you have any tips for helping people to get started running? and things to watch out for to protect themselves? Do they need to? Is it a mindset thing? Just so you talk a little bit about running and getting started running and
Mm-hmm.
protecting yourself.
Absolutely. Joy. I love talking about running. So, so yeah, for a beginner runner, for someone that's thinking about getting into running, I think I think one of the biggest things is have a solid walking routine first. Is what we have found is you have to start training the heart and the lungs for that cardiovascular health. So getting into a solid walking routine most days of the week. I usually say about 5 days of the week. Doing at least 30 minutes is gonna help open up those lungs and heart for when you prepare to run and go into your first run. And then another great tip is, if you haven't run, say maybe a month, 6 months, a year, just just plan for, and when you're about to do your weekly schedule, just plan for one run that week. Don't try to be like, oh, I'm going to do 3 runs this week or 5 runs. Just start with one run, and that's going to be on top of your walking. So it's not like you're just doing one run and then nothing else for the rest of the week, but you're adding a run. Say you add the run on Wednesday, and again, don't try to run like maybe prior. I guess this would be for someone that used to run, maybe probably used to run 5 miles, but just run a mile, even a half mile, just going through that motion of running, because it's a big step to go from walking to running. Like there's a lot more moving parts, and you just have more momentum. So yeah, just starting with one run for that week is perfect. And again, don't try to do like a 8 9 minute mile. Don't do anything crazy like that. Just try to get to that goal of whether it's a half mile or a mile. Just get there. And if you have to do, if you're running and you start getting tired after quarter of a mile, it's okay to walk a little bit. Let yourself cool down, and then just start running again. So those are the big things. You want to start slow, and then two is the mindset component. So just know it's this is a new adventure. It's like starting anything for the first time. Like maybe you got into this job for the first time. Like it's a new skill or new thing you're learning. It's the same as running. So these are new challenges, new beginnings. So just always remember, give yourself grace, and it's just that one step at a time. Um, so yeah, those are the big tips I would say to start with.
That's great. We'll have to report back. I
Yeah,
did have
absolutely.
a question from Jeff, and at first I thought it was about running, but it's actually just a question, a standalone question. It said it's a great question, so then we can end with this. I think. What stretches or techniques are good to loosen up when I first get up in the morning? I'm assuming.
Mm. Is this in regards to running or just in general?
It just or before bed. So so just in general. So what stretches or techniques are good to loosen up when I first get up or before going to bed?
Mm. Oh, there's so many. There's so many. Let's see. I want to shoot out some names, but I don't know if that would be much help. Should I demonstrate some?
Do both.
Yeah, yeah. We can do well. Okay, so first I'll say so. Like a child's pose is just phenomenal, type of stretch, because you're waking up, you're waking muscles in a child pose that are just completely inactive. Of course, most of your muscles or all the muscles are inactive when you're asleep. You're just at rest. But child pose is ones that are just going to kind of supplement the lying down posture. So that's one.
Okay. Yeah, I know that one. I think a lot of people know child's pose. That's
Yeah,
good.
yeah, that's a really popular yoga stretch. Another one is against. So this one's great for shoulders, upper body.
Jeff
So
wants a
actually,
demo. So yeah.
so actually going against a wall. So imagine my back is on a wall,
Okay.
and then just bringing your arms all the way up, kind of like an angel.
Okay.
And the idea is you're trying to touch your hands together, and just do that about. You could start with 5 times and work your way to 10 times, nice and slow. Trying to
So
keep the
you're
back
keeping
of your
your, oh yeah, you're keeping the back of your neck or head.
So keeping the back of your head, your shoulders, your butt, your feet all on the wall, and
Okay.
then just sliding your hands up. So that's a great stretch against gravity and just to wake up all those postural muscles, just coming all the way up.
Awesome.
Hmm.
And then do you have one for going to bed?
So just prior to going to bed,
Yeah. Yeah.
um,
Put Jeff Jones to sleep.
yeah, yeah. I would say a lunge with a twist is a great stretch. Let me see. I'm going to demonstrate that. This is good for runners and prior to going to bed. Doing a lunge and then just opening up. I think you can see me.
Yes.
So doing about 5 of those on each side. And then
Yay.
the other side and keeping it all even.
Totally worked.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. So that's
That
like
one was dedicated to Jeff Jones. That means
oh,
you have to do it now, Jeff, when you go to bed.
yeah, thanks for coming on, Jeff.
All right. So if people, I wanted to close here by talking about how people might be able to get in contact with you. So you've been working during this time and both going to people and also working with people virtually, correct?
Mm-hmm.
Okay. So if you're not in Chicago and you're like, oh, I've been looking for a physical therapist, this guy really connects with me. Can people still work with you virtually once we, kind of reintegrate back into functioning kind of the way we used to? Who knows?
Yeah, 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 exactly. It'll never be the same again. But absolutely, absolutely. So I've been working with patients, clients mainly in a virtual means. And this includes either physical therapy or wellness, running type visits. So either one, yeah, I'm gonna continue to incorporate those, even post COVID time. And so yeah, absolutely, absolutely. And I have a website that I can post my calendar link to schedule a discovery visit with me. 30-minute discovery visit, and we'll just go over, kind of what you have going on, what your goals are, whether this is running or just you have some pain you're dealing with. So we can address those things in the discovery visit.
And then
Absolutely.
if people are in Chicago, you are going to their homes, correct? To
Exactly,
help
exactly.
people?
So I'll be offering what's called mobile PT.
Mobile
So
PT.
either we'll go or I'll go into their homes, or we can even meet at a park.
That's cool.
They're yeah, yeah. If say they're a tennis player, golfer, we could even meet there. So depending on what's going on, we can meet in different places. So it's not necessarily the home, but yeah.
That's great. And is there anything else? Like, do you have a blog or do you have a page or something? I mean, you can post all of this, but is there something you'd like to, like a runner's page or something like that you have that you can share with everybody? Is there anything you're working on right now you'd like to share?
Yeah, yeah. I'll post a link to my my Facebook group, and it's a health focused group for beginner runners. And in there I'm focusing on community, providing free content and everything. So I'll definitely post that. That's one thing I forgot to mention for runners to be successful. You have to keep a tight community to keep you going and everything, one step at a time, and it has to be together. So I'll post that below.
That's good to know.
Hmm.
Thank you. I
Hmm.
really want to thank you for your time, Dr. Chris. I'm glad everybody could meet you. Welcome to Chicago. Though, I mean, you can be in California right now. I guess
Yeah, yeah, yeah,
I wouldn't
yeah.
know. I actually haven't seen. No, I'm just kidding.
That's true. That's true. That's true.
Yes. And when are you getting married?
Oh, the big date is June 28th. So,
Coming
yeah.
up. Oh my
Yep.
goodness. Okay.
Mhm.
So everybody send Dr. Chris some good marriage vibes. Thank you so much for helping us all out with our bodies and reintegrating us back into the real world. We appreciate it. Appreciate you. Oh, I would forget. I've been forgetting. I have a tagline and I've been forgetting to do it. I am always here and always grateful. I always feel silly doing that. But anyway, there it is. All right. Thank you, Dr. Chris. And please post those links in the comments. That would be awesome. And thanks for watching live or watching the replay. We appreciate you. Thanks, everybody. Thank you, Dr. Chris.
Bye, everyone.